Yes, what's good, ladies and gents? Welcome back to MKO Pugilism, aka MKO Boxing, where we talk all things box. Remember to like and subscribe on YouTube, follow on TikTok, all that good stuff. So, yeah, this video is about a bit of a, I suppose, a bit of a comedy piece, really, a bit of a silly one, because as any of you who watched the Tyson Fury Arslanbek Makhmudov press conference will know, Tyson Fury's father, Big John Fury, was up to his old tricks again, bowling around the Tottenham Hotspur, the media day and everything, and rolling around saying, "Yeah, where's Carl Froch? Where's Carl Froch? I'm the ultimate man. I'm the ultimate male. Where is he? I'm ready to fight now. I'm go now." Da, 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 da. Wandering around, putting his hands up, doing all this nonsense, and it's rolling around. Got to near to where Carl Froch was. Carl Froch was on a high platform, and Big John was like there shouting, looking at Carl Froch and shouting, "Where's Carl Froch? Where is he? I'm fighting now." Blah blah blah, effing and blinding. He even threatened Steve Bunce. Steve Bunce was, sort of saying, "Oh, I'm your friend, Joe." He's like, "No, you're no friend of mine. I'll headbutt you. I'll punch your face in." Blah blah blah. Steve Bunce was like, "John, I'm your friend." And he was just blustering, running around like a lunatic. And yeah, he then went on to make a few videos after this madness he done. First, one of them, he was apologizing to Steve Bunce, saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, Steve, me old mate. I was going through emotions. I was going through this and going through that, and I didn't mean it. You're my mate, and blah blah blah." And then he makes another video saying, "Carl Froch, Carl, you're a worm, Carl the worm Froch." And yeah, you want to fight me? You want to fight me? You've been big enough to say it on the internet. Will you say it to my face? You're just a bum and all this nonsense he was spewing. And then it was weird because he goes on like this fighting man business. But then he said, "Yeah, I'm a fighting man." But then he goes, "Yeah, but it's all about this, isn't it?" In other words, it's all about the money. So I want to get paid. I'm not giving no one a payday, rare. And he goes, "Yeah, tell Netflix to contact me. You're going to get one of them. You're going to get that. You're going to get that, Carl. You're going to get that." And saying that Carl Froch should go and contact Netflix and get a fight on and all this nonsense. And it all basically stems from Carl Froch just sort of speaking his mind on John Fury. Because Carl Froch was very critical of John Fury because John Fury tends to pick on little guys. And he picked on Carl Frampton at one point because I think Carl Frampton, he picked against Tommy Fury or something like that. I think it was one of them where I think he picked against Tommy or he picked against Tyson. Probably it was Tommy, I think, if I remember correctly. And John Fury got right into his face and was threatening him, saying this and saying that, and whatever. And then he also, Froch was quite critical of Big John when you had the first, I think it was before the first Usyk fight, and Usyk's team were around. Big John and Tyson's brothers and Tyson's team was around, and Usyk's team was bigging up their guy Usyk, and Tyson, Tyson's team was around bigging him up, and then Big John decided to get right close to Team Usyk and looked around. He found the smallest member of Team Usyk, and he was going, "Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up." And he was like bellowing in the man's face, and then he decided to stick the nut on him. He headbutted the smallest member of Team Usyk. And the joke of it was when he headbutted the guy, he was actually dazed. He went bang, stuck it on the guy, but then he was a bit dazed. And the joke of it was he headbutted the guy, got dazed, shook a bit, and he actually got cut himself. And it was funny because the guy he headbutted, there was no damage done to that guy. That guy wasn't dazed, but Big John, who was a bigger guy who headbutted him, he was dazed. He was cut, and he looked like he'd been hit in the face with a good shot, but it was him that done the headbutting. So it's just stupidness. And yeah, Carl Froch, he done a response and he said, "Yeah, I'll accept your challenge." He took issue with John Fury because he said, "How dare you?" Froch, he seemed to be laughing, but at the same time, he seemed a bit serious because he said, "Yeah, this is kind of this is peeing me off now. This nonsense he's talking about, calling me a bum. You know, I'm a world champion. I'm a Hall of Famer. Like, what the hell did he ever do to be calling me no bum? And you know, Froch seems genuinely peed off by this. So yeah, he said, Froch went on to say, I'll accept your challenge. And he said, maybe I'm the chosen one to shut this idiot up, to shut Big John Fury up. And you know, with Big John Fury, for me, I doubt this is going to happen. I doubt he's going to take it on, because when you look at his record, you look at what he's done. As I said, as a fighter, he was 8-4 and 1 draw. So he didn't have a good record as a fighter. He didn't fight to a high level when he was a professional fighter. He was like a poor, low-level fighter. You know, nowhere near the level of a guy like Carl Froch, nowhere near on the level to be even calling out Carl Froch's name, because Carl Froch was you know, he was a world champion, one of the best super middleweights in the world at his time. And he makes all these claims, Big John, but when you look at what's happened over recent years, two men of his own age and probably more called him out. Mickey Theo called him out, who's a 50-odd-year-old guy, English guy. He called him out. He said, come on, Big John, you said you're the best 50-year-old, blah, blah, blah. Let's have it. Let's have a fight. He didn't fight Mickey Theo. He's made excuses and made videos shouting and screaming and whatever. Didn't fight him. Another guy, Joe Egan, former Mike Tyson sparring partner, former pro, he called John Fury out, said, all right, you're running your mouth and all this. Come and fight me. I'm the same age as you. Let's have a fight. He didn't fight Joe Egan either. Even, you know, when Dillian White made a joke about him, and you know, he was talking about Dillian White and all this nonsense. When Dillian White was in his face and said, oh, you're John Fury, you're Tyson's dad, I thought you were Steve Bunce. And Dillian White started taking a pee, started, you know, just violating him right in front of his face, disrespecting him right in front of his face. He didn't do nothing. He done nothing to Dillian White. He was just looking at the floor and just, yeah, there you go. And, you know, didn't really have anything to say. He acted all shy when it came to a man like Dillian White in his face. You know, and even when you look at, you know, what he's done and the time and everything and what he got in trouble with police for. I mean, he got in trouble with the law for gouging a man's eyes, but the man was like 5'4", another small man. So to me, it seems like he just seems like to be all talk to me, because all the situations where he could afford Joe Egan, Mickey Theo, you know, other guys that called him out, he just doesn't seem to want it. It never seems to happen. He never seems to fight these guys. It all seems to be mouth. You know, he only seems to do anything at the Misfits shows where he's punching the Perspex glass and trying to get KSI and whatever. But, you know, whatever. But anyway, yeah, this is one that I think he knows it's not going to happen, because I don't see Netflix putting Big John Fury, Carl Froch on any undercard on his sons. I don't see it happening, but whatever. But I think if it does happen, there's only one outcome. Carl Froch lays him out. He does him El Sparko, as Carl Froch likes to say, because, you know, and he'll deal with Big John quickly. I mean, Big John he's pushing 60 years old now, a good 10 years older than Carl Froch. And Carl Froch is an older fighter too. He's in his late 40s, but Carl Froch is stayed in shape, so his body's in shape. I've seen him hitting the bag and training and everything, and Carl Froch still has something about him. Whereas Big John, you're pushing 60, never was particularly good as a pro, as a fighter. The street fighting thing, you know, I don't know. You got to wonder about that, because you'd think a street fighting dude would, you know, a guy that's from the streets, from the road or whatever, you'd think if they headbutt someone, they know what they're doing. But he headbutted the guy and he seemed to hurt himself. And all the guys that call him out, there's one common denominator in this, that he doesn't fight them. So all this talk he does, to me, it seems like more bark than bite. It seems like just kind of bluster, in my opinion, based on, you know, what we've seen of him. So yeah. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on this. Carl Froch accepts Big John Fury's challenge to fight, and will we see it? Will we see another crazy circus on the undercard of Tyson Fury versus Aslanbek Makhmudov? You know, I hope not. I hope he just goes off and just enjoys his grandkids or whatever, and just act like a normal fella. Because an older man like that, they don't need to be fighting. But you know, it is what it is. We'll see. Let me know your thoughts. Until next time, it's MKO Boxing. Over and out.